Have you ever wondered why a man might fall in love with you so deeply that he can't seem to forget you, yet you have no idea what it was that made him feel that way? I've heard this question from so many women in their 50s, 60s and beyond. Women who've loved and been loved, but who often miss the quiet magic behind a man's devotion. A magic that's not about what you do, but about who you are. A magic that touches his heart in ways you might not even notice. I've turned to the wisdom of Carl Jung, the renowned Swiss psychologist who understood the mysteries of love like few others. And I've found a truth that can change the way we see connection. A truth that says men fall in love not just because of what they see on the surface, but because of what they feel in their soul. A connection that Carl Jung called the Anima, a reflection of their deepest longings, brought to life by your authentic presence. For those of us in our middle years, understanding why men fall in love can open the door to a truly meaningful love. A love that's not about playing games, but about being real, about creating a bond that's deep and lasting. A bond that brings joy and fulfillment to both your lives. In this video, I'll share Carl Jung's insights on the anima and why men love, exploring the inner journey that shapes their emotions, why women often miss the power of their own presence, and how living authentically can create a deep love connection, a connection that allows you to love and be loved in a way that feels timeless, in a way that feels true. Let's start by exploring why men fall in love so deeply, a truth Carl Jung explained through the concept of the anima. When a man falls in love, it's often not for the reasons we might think. It's not just about a woman's beauty, her words, or the things she does to catch his eye. It's about something far deeper, something that touches his soul in a way that feels almost magical, something that Carl Jung called the anima, the inner image of the feminine that lives in every man's unconscious, a reflection of his deepest longings, shaped by the women who've touched his life, from the nurturing love of his mother to the dreams of an ideal partner he's carried in his heart. Jung taught us that when a man falls in love, he's not just seeing the woman in front of him, he's seeing a reflection of this anima, a projection of everything he's ever yearned for, everything he's ever needed to feel whole, to feel seen, to feel loved in a way that transcends logic, that transcends the everyday and reaches into the eternal. This connection isn't about what a woman does, it's about who she is. It's about the way she lives with authenticity, with a kind of quiet truth that speaks to his soul, a truth that Carl Jung believed awakens emotions so powerful they can change a man forever, emotions that make him surrender, not because he's trying to, but because he can't help it, because the connection feels so real, so profound, so right. Carl Jung's love anima teaches us that when a man falls in love, he's responding to a vibration, a resonance that echoes in the deepest parts of his being. It's like a melody that plays softly but never fades, a melody that makes him feel understood, cherished, and safe in a way he's never felt before. A melody that creates a deep love connection, a connection that's not just about the present moment, but about something timeless, something that feels like it was always meant to be. This is why a man's love can feel so intense, so unshakable, because it's not rooted in the surface. It's rooted in the soul, in the way a woman's presence reflects his anima, in the way she makes him feel alive, in the way she makes him feel whole. Have you ever felt a man's love deepen in a way you couldn't explain, as if he saw something in you that you didn't even see in yourself? Now, let's dive deeper into the journey that shapes a man's feelings. A journey Carl Jung called individuation. When a man falls in love, when he feels that deep connection through his anima, it's not just a moment of emotion. It's the beginning of a profound inner journey. A journey that Carl Jung described as individuation. A process where he becomes his truest self, not the self he shows the world, but the self he's meant to be. Whole, authentic, and free. A self that can love deeply because it's learned to face its own shadows. Jung taught us that this journey begins when a man encounters a woman who reflects his anima. Her presence stirs something within him, something that's both beautiful and challenging, because it pulls him into the depths of his own soul. A place he may have avoided for years, a place where his shadows live, those hidden parts of himself he's kept buried, like his fears of vulnerability, his longing for connection, his doubts about being enough, fears he's often masked with strength, with control, with distance. When a man falls in love, he's forced to face these shadows, to look at the parts of himself he's ignored, the parts that ache to be seen, to be loved, to be whole. And this can be both exhilarating and terrifying, because it's like stepping into a storm of emotions that he's never let himself feel fully, emotions that make him question everything he thought he knew about himself. Carl Jung believed that this process of individuation is what allows a man to grow, to mature emotionally, to love from a place of wholeness, not from a place of lack. Because as he faces his shadows, as he embraces his vulnerabilities, he learns to love in a way that's deeper, truer, more real, a way that's not about possession or need, but about connection, about sharing, about being fully present with the woman who's awakened this journey within him. It's like a storm that clears the air, leaving behind a calm that's stronger than before. A calm that allows him to love with his whole heart, to create a deep love connection that's not just fleeting, but lasting. A connection that feels like a dance between two souls, a dance that's both tender and powerful, a dance that changes him forever. Have you ever seen a man change through love, becoming more open, more vulnerable, more himself, in a way that surprised you? Let's explore why women often miss the incredible power they hold, a power that men feel so deeply. We've seen how a man's love is shaped by his anima, how it sets him on a journey of individuation that changes him forever. But something is fascinating that Carl Jung pointed out, something that often goes unnoticed by women. They don't realize the profound impact they have on a man's heart. They don't see the way their presence, their authenticity, their quiet truth touches his soul in a way that nothing else can, because they're not trying to make it happen. They're simply being themselves, living with a kind of natural ease that speaks to him on a level he can't ignore. Carl Jung taught us that when a woman lives authentically, when she's true to who she is without seeking approval, her presence becomes a mirror, reflecting a man's anima, awakening emotions he didn't even know he could feel. But here's the thing. Women often miss this power because they're not doing anything extraordinary. They're not trying to impress or seduce. They're just existing, just being, in a way that's so pure, so real, that it resonates with a man's unconscious, stirring a longing he can't explain, a longing that makes him fall in love, deeply, completely, irrevocably. It's like a gentle light that shines without effort, a light that draws him in, a light that Carl Jung believed is the essence of a deep love connection, because it's not about what a woman does, It's about who she is. It's about the way she carries herself with a quiet confidence, a natural grace, a truth that doesn't need to prove anything to anyone. Society often teaches women to believe they need to try harder to be loved, to change, to fit in, to be more. And because of that, they overlook the magic of their own presence, the way their authenticity alone can leave a mark on a man's heart, a mark that lasts forever, a mark that he feels even when she doesn't, a mark that Carl Jung said is like a whisper from his own soul, calling him to love, to connect, to be whole. This is why women often miss the power they hold. They're too busy trying to be what they think they should be, instead of seeing the beauty of who they already are. A beauty that men see, a beauty that men feel, a beauty that men love deeply and truly. Have you ever realized that someone was drawn to you for reasons you couldn't see, as if your presence alone touched them in a way you never expected? Now, let's see how you can embrace this power fully by living authentically, the key to a connection that's truly deep. We've uncovered the quiet magic of your presence, the way your authenticity touches a man's soul, awakening his anima and drawing him into profound love. But to truly harness this power, to create a connection that's not just fleeting but lasting, there's one thing you need to do, one thing that Carl Jung believed is the foundation of all true love, and that's to live authentically, to be so deeply yourself, so unapologetically you, that your presence becomes a light that shines from within, a light that invites a man to love you not for what you do but for who you are. Carl Jung taught us that authenticity is the most powerful energy a woman can embody. When you live as your true self, when you let go of the need to be anything other than who you are, you radiate a kind of truth that speaks directly to a man's unconscious, a truth that resonates with his anima, a truth that makes him feel safe, seen and loved in a way that feels effortless, a truth that makes him want to connect, to surrender, to love you with his whole heart, because he's never felt a connection so real, so pure, so deep. Living authentically isn't about trying to be perfect, it's about being honest. It's about embracing every part of who you are, the parts you love and the parts you've learned to accept. It's about setting boundaries that honor your heart, about choosing a life that feels true to you, even if it doesn't fit society's mold. Because when you live this way, you create a deep love connection, a connection that's not about changing yourself to be loved, but about being yourself and being loved for it. A connection that Carl Jung believed is the essence of true love, a love that's rooted in authenticity, not pretense, a love that's free, not forced. When you live authentically, you become like a melody that a man can't stop hearing, a melody that resonates with his soul, a melody that invites him to join you in a dance of love, a dance that's not about control or need, but about sharing, about growing, about being fully present with each other in a way that feels timeless, in a way that feels true. Have you ever felt the freedom that comes from being fully yourself, the kind that makes you feel loved for exactly who you are? Let's take a deeper look at love, a love that's rooted in a soulful connection, a love that grows through emotional maturity. We've explored why men fall in love, how the anima shapes their emotions, how their journey of individuation deepens their capacity to love, and how your authenticity holds a power you might not even notice, a power that draws them in, that makes them surrender, that creates a profound bond. But what does this all mean for a love that lasts? For a love that's not just a fleeting moment, but a lifelong dance, a dance between two souls that grows stronger with every step. Carl Jung taught us that true love is a reflection of the soul. It's not about what's on the surface, it's about what's beneath. It's about the way a man's anima connects with your authentic presence, creating a deep love connection that feels like a melody that plays softly but never fades, a melody that carries you both through the years, through the challenges, through the joys, because it's rooted in something real, something timeless, something true, a connection that allows you both to grow, to love, to be fully yourselves, in a way that feels expansive, in a way that feels free. But for this love to last, for it to grow, it requires more than just a spark. It requires emotional maturity. It requires both of you to walk the journey of individuation, to face your shadows, to embrace your vulnerabilities, to love from a place of wholeness, not from a place of lack. Because when you do, you create a love that's not about needing each other to feel complete, but about choosing each other to share in something greater, to grow together, to love together, to be together in a way that feels expansive, in a way that feels free. Carl Jung believed that this kind of love is the most beautiful of all. It's a love that's not possessive, but generous. It's a love that's not dependent, but independent. It's a love that allows both of you to be fully yourselves, to shine with your own light, and to come together in a way that makes that light even brighter. A light that creates a deep love connection, a connection that's not just about the moment, but about the journey. A journey that Carl Jung said is the essence of true love. A journey that leads to deep love, that's lasting, that's true. Have you ever felt a love that grew stronger because you both allowed each other to be fully yourselves, the kind that felt like a dance between two souls? Let's finish with an inspiring reflection on love, a love that begins with a soulful connection. We've journeyed through the mystery of why men fall in love, from the hidden depths of the Anima that Carl Jung so beautifully described, to the inner journey of individuation that shapes their emotions. We've seen how your authentic presence holds a power you might not even notice, a power that touches a man's soul, that makes him surrender to love, that creates a bond so deep it feels eternal, and how living authentically, being fully yourself, allows you to invite a love that's not just fleeting, but lasting. A love that grows through emotional maturity, a love that's rooted in the soul. Carl Jung taught us that true love is a reflection of the soul. It's about the way a man's anima connects with your authentic self, creating a deep love connection that's not about what you do, but about who you are. A connection that feels like a melody that plays softly but never fades. A melody that carries you both through the years because it's rooted in something real, something timeless, something true. A connection that allows you both to grow, to love, to be fully yourselves in a way that feels expansive, in a way that feels free. For women in their middle years, this understanding is a gift, a chance to create a deep love that's meaningful, that's yours, a love that begins with being true to yourself, with loving yourself deeply, with embracing the quiet power of your own presence, a power that Carl Jung believed can awaken a man's heart, can lead to a love that's not about possession or need, but about sharing, about growing, about dancing together through life, with a love that's as deep as your soul, as true as your heart. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Have you ever felt a connection that touched your soul in a way you couldn't explain? A moment where you felt truly seen, truly loved? If this video spoke to your heart, please give it a like, subscribe to Ageless Philosophies, and share it with someone who might need to hear this today, because you deserve a deep love, a love that's real, a love that begins with a soulful connection. And I'm here to support you on that journey, cheering you on as you embrace your truth and open your heart to the love you've always deserved.